Hey guys, it's Adam and it is 1:30 in the morning and I'm filming a story time. Woo! I'm also not wearing pants. So this is a story time I've been planning on telling ever since it happened. Like, I have wanted to tell it because it's such a funny, weird story. And here we are, 9 months later, telling you the story. This is all about the time that I almost died in London. The title wasn't clickbait. I could have died. I could have no longer been living. I have literally written notes on this story because I didn't want to leave anything out, so if you see me looking in this, it's because that's why. Right, let's get started. So this actually happened at Summer in the City 2016. It actually also happens to be one of the best nights of my life, but I don't remember the majority of it because, as all my stories seem to go, I was really drunk. So it was Summer in the City 2016 and somehow me and my friends had managed, well, we got into the Friday party, the YouTube space party, and also the after party on the Saturday as well. This happened on the Saturday night, the Friday night I didn't drink. So just to give you a little bit of a backstory about how the night had gone already. So we'd gone to the actual event all day and it was really good, it was all swell, whatever. And then we had heard about this party that was going on and I knew a few people were going and somehow we managed to go. The original plan was I was gonna go back to the hotel because I was sharing with Alex and Kyle. I was gonna shower, do my makeup, all that stuff, do my hair, and then we were gonna go, I was gonna look mint, like I was excited. It was a Saturday party, so it was supposed to be like the party because the Friday one was quite civilized, so I was ready to have like a really good night. That's not how it went down though. For some reason, I don't know why, I thought I had a lot more time to get ready than I actually did. I got out the shower and I remember speaking to Alex and Cameron and they were like, oh yeah, we're going in like half an hour. I was like, what? I'm really fussy about my hair, so half an hour was not enough to even like start my hair, let alone do my hair and my makeup and pick an outfit, all that shit. So I was really stressed and I also was annoyed because I was planning on getting ready and also pre-drinking before we went to the party because at the time I was under the impression that I wasn't going to be able to drink because on the Friday night we couldn't drink, so I was like, I'll have some pre-drinks before I go so that I'm at least tipsy while I'm there. But that ended up not happening and I got out the shower, got told I had barely any time and had to like dry my hair, put a backwards hat on, rush my eyebrows and all that stuff, and then make like a really strong bottle of vodka and like, I think it was tonic water, I'm pretty sure I had some of Cameron's tonic water, and we made this really strong drink and then went. The party itself was being held in like a bowling alley in the O2 Arena, and Summer in the City is held at the Excel Centre and then the O2 Arena is pretty close, so it was like kind of walking distance, although we had to get like these cable car things, but it was like not a far journey. So I knew I was going to have this drink quickly, which meant I was downing my drink very quickly. It was very strong, it was such a strong drink. So that's just kind of prefacing the night, how it was going so far already. Like, it was managed to get to the party, it ended up being absolutely awesome. They were doing free drinks at the bar and stuff like that, so I got smashed. But basically, long story short, the night started really shit, so I got really drunk and then ended up having a really good night, but then also a really shit night, which is what I'm about to get onto. So throughout the night, I remember getting with one guy, I won't mention names because he is a YouTuber and he's kind of a big YouTuber as well. The story starts of me, I'm pretty sure I was leaving with him, not in like a sexual way, like not in a way that I was gonna go home with him, but I think I was just leaving with him. Maybe the party had ended and I was leaving, but I don't really remember. To finally mention, I was very drunk. Like, I barely remember any of the night. So this story's gonna be a bit of a mess because it's just kind of like a collection of random memories throughout the night. But yeah, we were leaving and I remember walking out with him, and I'm pretty sure like a few other people as well, and we were walking, and I remember being at like a bus stop. I don't remember like where or whatever, but then I do remember just waking up on a bus alone, not knowing where I was. I had woken up on this bus, I didn't know where I was still quite drunk, but I can remember a lot more of it since then, so I think I had slept off a lot of the like drunkenness. So my drunk, confused brain was like, oh shit, I don't know where I am, let me just get off the bus when it next stops. In London, the buses take, like, you use your Oyster card or like whatever to get on and off. I had an Oyster card and I'm assuming that's what I used to get on the bus. However, I had lost it and I'm pretty sure you have to tap out when you get off a bus. I got off this bus and didn't tap out because I had lost my Oyster card. I also didn't have money or like my cards. This meaning that I wasn't going to be able to get like a tube or anything like that. I should also probably mention this was probably at like 2, maybe like 3 in the morning. So I was trying to think of contingency plans. I was like, what can I do? How am I going to get back? Shit. So a little light bulb hit me. I was like, I'll just use Apple Pay because obviously it has like contactless payment and shit like that, and you can use that on the tube. So I was like, right, I'll just see if I can find a taxi that accepts Apple Pay. Bearing in mind, I was very poor, could not afford a taxi back to where I needed to be. But I mean, I was lost in London, so it was kind of important that I got back. So drunk me had got off this bus and I started walking. I was wandering around this bus stop. I didn't know where I was. I don't remember seeing any signs or anything like that telling me where I was, but I remember walking around and eventually finding a road that was just chock-a-block of taxis. And I was going up the hill, knocking on every single taxi driver's window, and by this point I had started crying because I didn't know where I was. So this is the situation, this is the scenario. Do you accept Apple Pay? No, okay, thank you. Eventually, a really nice taxi driver did tell me that he didn't accept Apple Pay, but if I went to the taxi office, which was conveniently just around the corner, they would maybe be able to sort something out for me. So I was like, oh my god, thank you so much. Walked around and went into the taxi office, and don't know why, probably just my anxiety came out, but I just went into the taxi office. So it was quite small, and I just sat down on a bench that was in there. Like I just sat down and watched people coming in and out ordering taxis and stuff like that, like drunk people coming in and out and ordering taxis, and I just sat down and didn't do anything. I would have sat there for a good like 20 minutes to half an hour. I didn't speak to anyone about getting a taxi, so I don't I don't understand. But eventually I left the taxi office, not having done anything to try and get a taxi or anything like that. At this point I had given up on the whole taxi idea, and I was like, right, tubes open at 6 AM. Might be wrong, but I was drunk, so that's just what my brain was thinking. I'm just gonna wait until 6 AM and then I can use Apple Pay to use the tubes to get back to the Excel Centre, because that's where I needed to be, that's where my hotel was and stuff like that. So I left the taxi office and I needed to find my way back to the bus station that I had got off at, because there was a tube station across the road from there. So at this point I was just wandering around trying to find my way back to the bus stop, thinking, right, it's fine, it'll all be fine, there's tube stations everywhere if I can't get to the bus station. I had calmed myself down and wasn't crying at this point. Looked at my phone, it was dead. Yeah, you heard me right. My only way of paying for anything and finding my way back, like if my phone hadn't died I could have even like mapped it and walked back, but no. So I was lost in the middle of London, drunk, crying again, had no money, my phone was dead. I was slowly accepting that I was gonna die. Like I just kind of was like, okay, this is the last night for me. It's over, it's done. It's been a good run. I had a good night, like up until now. Eventually, however, I was like, right, this is not the end. I'm gonna find a way back. So I was like, right, I can walk around. There might be somewhere that's open 24 hours that will just allow me to like charge my phone if I'm like, yo, it's an emergency, could be dead soon. Let me charge my phone. So this was all well and good. I was walking around, still trying to find my way back to the bus stop, but hoping I would find somewhere on the way there that would let me charge my phone. Eventually, I passed a 24-hour McDonald's, so I was like, hell yeah, there might be some nice workers in here that'll have the phone charger or whatever. Let me go inside. When I say that I cried at some points in the night, I was like hysterical, like just walking past people like, At this point, I was calmer than that. And I found a McDonald's and I walked in, and similar situation to the taxi office. I got into the McDonald's, kind of looked at all the employees and just got worried and left. Instead of trying to sort myself out, like I could have at the taxi station, like actually spoke to someone and got a taxi home and like, you know, stayed alive. I mean, I'm alive. No, I just went back out and walked around again. So eventually I found myself back at the bus station where I'd got off from, and I had been walking for a very long time. It must have been possibly like 4:30, 5 in the morning. But when I got back to the bus station, there was a few people there because it was early morning time. Like some people were obviously getting up to go to work and stuff like that. So there was a few people around at the bus stop, and I was like crying. I was going up to people asking how you got to the Excel Centre. Someone told me that it was like an hour away. So I was like, cool. I'm an hour away from where I need to be with no money and no phone. Oh, love my life. So I was just kind of fucked. Like, there was nothing for me really to do, so I was just hanging at this bus station. At this point, I had literally given up. I sat down in the bus stop and was just like I was out of tears. I stopped crying. This is actually really depressing, but I think it's a really funny story. There was a few homeless people around. I was talking to them. I was walking around. There was a woman as well who was either drunk and hysterical or just had something wrong mentally, possibly. But she was like really worried and stuff like that, couldn't walk properly, and she wanted to sit on one of the benches in like the bus stop, and I went up to her and I helped her over to sit down on the bench. So that was my good deed of the day. And then there was a woman there like, is she okay? And I was like, yeah, I think so, and walked off. And then I was like, she didn't even ask me like why I was crying, fucking bitch. I was at the end. It was like the final straw. I honestly thought I was gonna be dead. I didn't think there was any way that I was gonna end up getting back. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like Jesus was calling my name. I heard someone calling my name. And I turned round and it was Kate, as in Cartier, if you know who she is, yes. Finn and Em, and I just turned around and I saw them and they were all like, and I burst into tears. I was so happy to see someone that I knew. I went up to them and they were all like, where the hell have you been? And I was like, I don't know, crying my eyes out. Finn gave me his jumper, I forgot to say, but I was in a t-shirt the whole time, so I was freezing. So then we got an Uber back and I was asking them like how the hell they managed to find me, and it turned out that they had seen my like last location on Find My Friends and just went there and hoped for the best. And I thought that was so crazy because my last location recorded on there was like that bus stop that I first got off at, and I had walked around so much. I must have walked miles, and I somehow managed to get back to the bus stop right around the time that they were going to be there to like find me. So then we proceeded to get back to the hotel. I got into bed, had like an hour or so to sleep, and then we got up and went to somewhere in the city, and I met some of you guys. And I didn't tell any of you lot I was disgustingly hungover, but people that got pictures with me that day, they definitely would have been able to tell because I looked gross and felt gross. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this story. Like I said, it's a bit of an eventful, messy story, and I'm so glad that I'm finally telling you all because honestly it's been so long since it actually happened. Summer in the City was literally in August. Moral of the story is, if you're gonna get drunk in a new environment with a load of new people, like, just don't go as far as me. Like, know your limits, to be honest. Like, what the fuck? But anyways, if you did enjoy the video, please give it a massive thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more of my face. I upload new videos every Friday and I do weekly vlogs on Tuesdays. If you would like to, you can go follow all my social media links, they'll be down below. And if you want more story times like this, then let me know down below. I actually have another story about me being drunk and getting lost in a place that I had never really been to before. Let me know if you want to hear about that one, because that one's also stupid. Although it's quite a short one, so I might just make it part of a Dumb Things I've Done drunk part 2. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next week for another new video. Bye!